And it's a very good evening, and welcome to Songs Alive segment on the gallery, featuring
Roxanne and Josephine.
of course, and Napoleon. I'm Stephen.
And we're going to start this evening off with a song, with a bang, over to Stephen Kiely.
The aspirations of the singer are not necessarily those of the management. Oh, how I wish I was a girl. Oh, how I wish I was a girl. It's so fantastic when you're a girl. It's the night of your life when you're a girl. You shine like a star, a diamond, a pearl when you're a girl. All of the pop stars today are girls. The radio stations, hi girls. The head of the clouds, don't you know it's a girl? 'Cause girls are better. Bring back the Beatles, they had no girls. Bring back the Monkees, had no girls. Bring back Led Zeppelin, bring back Led Zeppelin. Oh, how I wish I was a girl. Oh, how I wish I was a girl. 'Cause when you want it, you don't have to try. You just turn around to the nearest guy. You give him a smile, looking right in the eye, and say, I'm a girl. I could have girlfriends if I was a girl. I could be sharing with all of the girls. And with my carefrees, I can do anything I want. That's why I wish I was a girl. Oh, how I wish, yes I do, I was a girl. 'Cause when you're a girl, every magazine's got you on the cover, and everybody is your secret lover. You treat the world just like it's a toy. Now could you do that if you were a boy? No, that's why I wish I was a girl. Oh, how I wish I was a girl.
Well, that was really good.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
we'll try. We do our
So
best.
tonight we're going to talk about you for a change.
Let's talk about me.
Yeah, that's
What do you
all
think of
about
my
you.
show so far?
Josephine
Not
and I are
bad, is
going to interview you
It's called The
tonight.
Gallery, you know, it's on Channel 31. It's not a bad program. You should
And
check it
it's
out
open as the
Saturday night, 10:30.
Okay, now Josephine's dying to ask, how long have you been writing?
I've been writing for quite a while.
Mhm.
I think this is one of the beauties of growing up during a period of time when popular music moved across to the simple instruments such as the guitar. You listen to guys like James Taylor and Neil Young, and you get inspired by the fact you think not only do they write great songs, but you
Yeah.
think, well, maybe I can write something that's just about the same, because you're not dealing with an instrument that you need years and years of learning to come to terms with. And of course, pop music also goes through this system whereby when a generation gets to the point where they're very good at what they're doing, and the next generation comes along and brings it right back to the basics.
And you've got eclectic tastes.
Eclectic tastes, well, I guess so. One of my favourite artists, or most of my favourite artists, are usually totally unknown. You know, you mentioned Frank Zappa, and people go, I never heard of him. Is he just around lately? You think, no, well, he has had 65 albums out, and some of them are quite good.
So does that mean you're an eclectic writer as well? Or do you write songs right across the board, or do you stick with rock, pop, country?
No,
Dare I say country?
Yeah, no, I don't mind country. I write songs right across the board, but I think everyone's got their favourite sort of areas, you know, and I do have my favourite areas, but nevertheless, I've having grown up a little bit now as a songwriter and come to terms with not only the people from your own generation, but those of the previous generations.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
once you
right.
understand that there was a guy named Cole Porter who wrote, you know, Under My Skin, and he was a pop songwriter, and Irving Berlin, who wrote Alexander's Ragtime Band, you start to realise that you are part of a genre that's much wider than just the particular
That's
10 or
right.
15 year period that you grew up in.
Just going into Songs Alive and the samplers, you've got a couple of songs on there. I mean, this is like number 3.
I've been lucky enough to be, well, not chosen, you know, we've got to buy our way
I
into these
know,
samplers,
we do
you
have
know,
to
but,
buy our way in.
you know.
But, you know, it doesn't cost a lot. It's only $500 just to get on there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's,
Well, this is sampler 3, I think.
This
would be the one with 3 written on it, so it must be sampler 3, unless we,
and this
really
is
screwed up
2.
royally. Yeah.
And dare I say, you designed both covers.
Well, I did get a nice...
Such a talented guy.
Well, I've got to do something with Photoshop, folks, I mean, it's sitting at home, you've got to do something with it.
I know, and we rely on Stephen to do all this for Songs Alive, and he does it out of the goodness of his heart. Because as you know, we are a non-profit organisation. So you've had some success with Darkness, I believe.
Yeah, just recently we've had somebody from the Harbour Agency in Sydney contact our people at Garth Music and say we're interested in one of your artists, because I actually wrote this song. I wanted to write something very deep and heavy and dark, and I wrote this song called Darkness, which is Your Love Is Like Darkness. And it's very grungy. It's quite out of character for me. But these guys really took to it. They just liked it, and they said, "Listen, can you write some more in this genre?" We've got, and I think it's really, they want to do what I want them to do, which is don't form your own band and go out and tour. Give us the songs for these other guys who want to go out and tour, and I think it's a great idea.
That's right. Yeah. No, it's a great song. What we should do is maybe next week play it on next week's program.
We could play it on the car stereo. Oh, you mean?
Yeah. Of course. Okay, we could play it on the car. Well, we couldn't really, because we haven't got a CD player. But we can play it here next week.
People, no, I've got no CD player in my car.
Okay, so you're on this one, and you had a song on this. No, you had this one here, which is a different song altogether.
I was Crucified by Tears.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite of yours.
Yeah, and the beauty of having these done on Songs Alive CDs, which for those of you who are thinking about joining Songs Alive, which is a great organisation, and you can contact them on songsalive@hotmail.com. One of the beauties of going on the Songs Alive CD is that you get your songs remastered, and for those of us who are into recording our songs, you don't realise how good remastering is until someone does it to your song. It's really an amazing process.
And you noticed a difference because you put an album out in 95, was it 95?
Yeah. I noticed a difference because someone came up to me and said, I listened to your album, I listened to those tracks on your album, but then I listened to the version on the Songs Alive CD, and suddenly you sound like good, man. What's the difference? I said, well, I've had it remastered. Thank you very much.
It is a big difference. I mean, mind you, I guess it's mastering, because we've got our guy, Paul Bryant, give him a plug, who masters he does all the mastering for our CDs. So so that song is completely different to Darkness, isn't it?
Well, I'm one of those type of songwriters, and not all songwriters are like this. Some are in a particular genre, they love to stay there, and that's their style. I've done a bit of film soundtrack work. You write, it's a good songwriter should be able to write.
What film?
Well, there was Stallion of the Sea. I wrote the soundtrack to the film The Stallion of the Sea, which was about marlin fishing in the Pacific Ocean, and sort of helped to... It was one of those sort of Albie Mangles type things that was shown in town halls, but also Early Frost, which came out, was an Australian... one of the very few Australian horror films, if you can believe that. You can imagine horror films in Australia, apart from Bellbird.
Talented guy, Mr. Kiely.
Well, yeah.
So just before we wrap up, and before they wrap us up.
Workshops every second Wednesday, folks, just from the point of view of Songs Alive. Every second Wednesday, the next one's coming up on the 16th.
A guest speaker is Murray Bennett from Benidisc, who is a CD manufacturer, who will be our guest here next Monday.
And of course, our showcases are on the last Tuesday of the month, and usually at Harbourside Brasserie. I think it is this month, isn't it?
It is this month at the Harbourside with Lama Kizawani and Upside, Julia Starr, and who's the next day?
Oh, Stefan coming
Stefan's not on.
It would have been good if he was,
I'll think of it.
Giving you misinformation here.
Anyway, I think we're winding up, but just before we do, if we've got a second, you've done some collaborating with Bruce Wallace.
Bruce Wallace, the wonderful Bruce Wallace, man of the future, that
which is like taking you into a complete different direction of style of songs.
Well, it has. Yeah. Bruce is writing for the what would you say, the modern middle-aged sort of person. He's not aiming for the young audience. He's aiming for the people who normally buy Carole King albums and saying, buy something new for a change, And I agree with Bruce.
So he's like the Doris Day of the 90s.
Yes, really.
Okay, I think that's it, folks, from us. We're going to throw over to Jackie and Nick with the Gig Guide. And this is, thank you, Stephen, that was great.
My pleasure, Roxanne.
Us saying good night from Songs Alive.